Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Hello.
I am very nervous. I'm just warning you now.
Oh, goodness. You don't have no reason to be nervous. It's very nice to meet you virtually.
Yes, you too.
And I was very, very impressed by your artwork. As you know, you made it to the top three. So thank you so much for submitting. And I just thought it was such a clever piece of work. And I thought it would be a nice idea just to chat with the three finalists and kind of see, what inspires you, where you started in just in the whole world of painting and artwork and being an artist.
Yeah.
And I understand you're in communication design in.
Yes, I am, yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about what brought you there. Why did you always love to draw and create artwork?
Yeah, that's probably been always my biggest hobby is I used to get in trouble in class and stuff, especially for like drawing rather than doing the work I was meant to be doing. And it wasn't until I went like to leave school, I didn't think about going into a career in art until I was leaving secondary school and like high school. Um, and I decided to go to uni to go and actually try and pursue it properly as a job. Thought, well, I enjoy it so much, so
Well,
I
you're
should
very
go into
good at
something I
it.
enjoy. Thank you.
Yeah, and you have such a great imagination. That was another thing that we looked at. Um, we gave sort of very vague instructions, right? It was like we want to see a two-page spread. Here's the text that would go with it. And there was, I'm not going to say there was very few that followed that idea, but those that did really stood out because it
Yeah.
was like, okay, so this was the idea. It's not just about a picture of a turkey, it's about this story. And I thought that you did such an incredible job of telling that story and bringing that story to life. And as
Oh,
soon as
thank
I saw
you.
yours, I'm like, this is so like, and for a children's book too, I'm like, kids would love this. And I tested it out on a few children, including the twins that play Lindy. They loved it.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
they loved all of them. Actually, it was funny. I showed them the three finalists, and they were like, "Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, that one's beautiful." And so it was kind of. I was like, "But which one's your favorite?" They're like, "They're all beautiful." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh,
So it was really good though to be able to take three different finalists that had very different style of,
yeah.
and I thought that that was kind of a fun idea and to see. And we had entries, as you probably know, from all over the world. And you're
Hmm.
from Scotland. One of our finalists was from Costa Rica. I had a chance to speak with him yesterday. And then we have another finalist from right around the corner from me. So it was nice to be able to see entries from all over the world, all different age groups. It was really inspiring to me, to see all of these different incredible takes on something that I enjoy too is children's writing. So it's like you
Yeah.
can kind of bring that to life and have fun with it. So I guess like I just want to chat and get to know a bit about you. So you told me a bit about your schooling and that you always love to draw and do artwork.
Yes.
What are some of your other hobbies and passions?
Well, I mentioned it in my short bio, but my family live on a farm also. So I'm immediately like hearing the brief about sweet pea and turkeys and having animals and stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is right up my street already. Like we've
Yeah.
got ducks and hens up there and they're always down at our house. So yeah, if I'm not drawing and stuff, I work part-time just on a Saturday in a bakery. Not that that's very exciting, but
No, that's awesome.
but yeah, if I'm not there, and obviously with COVID and stuff, I've been at home this year for uni. But so yeah, I've had a lot of time to spend at home with all of our animals, and
It's the
so
best place to be.
oh,
I
it's
count my
lovely.
blessings every day, especially during the pandemic, because I know so
Yes.
many people were stuck in a big city, in
Hmm.
an apartment building. And I can't imagine if I didn't have my land and my animals to be able to go and just, my life really didn't change a whole lot during
Yeah.
the last year and a half. And I owe that to where I live and the animals I have. And they still need daily attention and feeding and cleaning and all those things. So I think that it really gives you that sense of purpose and something that you need to do every day.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite animal that you have?
Oh gosh, that's gonna be a hard one. We've got a lot. We've got like over 70 ducks and hens.
Yes.
that got out of hand over COVID. We ended up like they started laying and we thought, yeah, we've got time for more. So
You're not alone. I think a lot of people did that. I know personally a lot of people that never had animals in the past. And then during the
yeah.
pandemic, they've adopted a cat or a dog, or even many of my friends have gotten into chickens because a lot of them live in a country property, but they've just never had time. They work in the city or whatever,
Yeah.
and they've called me up and say, okay, so how do I start? I want to get some laying hens. And I think it's so much fun because that's something that now they're either working from home or they're home a lot more, so they have time for this kind of thing. And most of them have just dove in with both feet and said, this is so much fun. Like, I don't know why I
Yeah.
never did this before. So I think in some ways, this last year and a half, although it's been very tough, it's also allowed for new opportunities, and it's allowed for people to reach out and do different things that they might not have done in the past.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So do you have dogs and cats, or is it mostly?
Yeah, well, during COVID as well, we ended up fostering a rabbit at the beginning,
Yeah.
because our neighbor works for like the SSPCA, which is like the
Mhm.
animal rescue across Scotland.
Yeah.
And she said, we've got loads of pets and obviously no staff really to go in and look after them all the time. Would you consider fostering a rabbit? And we went, yes. And because we've had rabbits in the past and we just love them. So yeah, a couple months into it, we thought we're not giving him back. He's here to stay.
That's awesome. And
So
what's his name?
yes, Pongo, that was the name he came
Oh,
with us with, and it just suits him and his grumpy little personality. So
that's very
we
cute.
yes.
Yes,
Um
I've have my two rabbits, Strawberry and Mimsy, and
yes.
I've had them they're 6 now. So I've had them 6 years, and then I had their mother here for many years before that. So I've had
Yeah.
rabbits. I got my first rabbit, I think, when I was 8 or 9. And I've had them all my life too. So I just, like you, I think the more animals around, the better. It brings so much
Oh,
joy,
it's
and
lovely.
it is. So do you have siblings? What's your home life like?
Yes, I'm living with my family right now still, and I have my mum and my dad, and then I have my older brother, and then I have my younger sister who is obsessed with you.
Yes. What's her name?
Abby, I had to put that in for her because, oh, ever since she's found out about this, she's like, oh my God, now you're gonna have to take photos, and can I sit in on the call? And I'm like, no.
Well, is she around? Because I'd be more than happy to say hello to her, or else I
I'm
can
afraid
record a video.
not. She's gonna be so annoyed at
You know
me
what,
because
you know what I'll
I'm at my
do
boyfriend's
is
house today.
I will record a video for her, and I'll make sure that you get it.
Oh
Um,
my God, that's lovely.
yeah, well, we it's this show really has it's gone on this long because of the dedicated fans.
Yeah.
And so I owe that to everyone who loves the show. And I'm amazed at not only the longevity of the show and people that have followed the show for so long, but the reach that it has all around the world. And as you know,
Yeah.
you're in Scotland, and when I started Heartland, I thought, oh, I'm on this Canadian show, some Canadians are going to watch it. And I was just blown away, even in the first couple years, at how many countries just loved the show. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm like, why would they want to tune into this little horse farm in Alberta, Canada? But I think that it's a show that resonates with a lot of people because it's got that kind of simple way of living that you and I both know and
Yeah.
love. And a lot of people don't have the opportunity to have that lifestyle. And when they see that on TV, it just kind of, I always describe it as a breath of fresh air. It's just calming. It's a nice way to just sit down with the family and enjoy a simpler way of life. And I think that a lot
Yeah.
of people, in fact, I know a lot of people because I've had numerous emails and letters and things of people that were living in town, super busy, caught up in the hustle and bustle, started watching Heartland, and that actually inspired them to go move out of the city, buy an acreage, slow things down a little bit, or even just go out and take riding lessons. I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that have thought for years I wanted to ride a horse, but I never really pushed myself to do it, or I never thought I could. And then watching Heartland, they went out, they took riding lessons. Now they might have a horse, they might have moved to the country. I think that for me is really what makes doing this show so worthwhile, because I
Yeah.
get to see these stories and hear these tales of people that were inspired by Heartland to go and just slow things down, live a simpler life, which I believe is so healthy. And it's so needed in this world right now. People are just
especially, yeah,
running too fast and getting caught up in, too much work and not enough family time, not enough just you time. We all need me time. And that's another thing I love about living on the farm is each evening when I get home from a busy day, I just go out, I sit with my animals, whether it be out in the horse field with the cows, with the birds. I just like sitting there, and that's my own form of meditation. Everybody has their own type of meditation. I'm not a traditionalist in the fact that I don't just sit and meditate, but for me, sitting in a field with horses and just, picking at the grass or blowing dandelions or like just things like that are really what feeds my soul. And I think that a lot more people have found that during COVID because they had to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. And I think it's been refreshing for a lot of people.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm so grateful that we live where we do. Especially because of COVID, like you said, I would have hated being stuck in a busy town or city. Like our lives changed obviously because we were home from work and school and all that, but where we lived didn't change. We still had everything around us. It was still quiet. It was still peaceful. We felt very safe where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so calming.
So for your schooling, did you do online courses and things like that?
Yeah. So just using Zoom like this, I
Yeah.
just had like once a week just to meet up with my teachers. And
how did you find it? Because everyone I talk to has a different experience, but I think for post-secondary, I don't know what you guys call it there, but for your university, I think that it might be a bit easier than if you were still in like a public elementary school or.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that was in uni at the time rather than back in like primary or secondary school and still sitting exams, because their exams right now and all that being thrown up in the air. I'm so glad I wasn't there to experience that. But yeah, uni was a lot easier to adapt to because the work I'm doing right now, because I'm in my third year of it, is a lot more flexible anyway. They treat it more like a job rather than going to school, and you have to set your own deadlines. And yeah, all the only things I had to do was just organize a time with my teacher once a week, and then we'd have a Zoom call like this to go over all my stuff.
Well, and then you can do it at your own pace too, right? You can think, okay, so today I'm going to get up early and I'm going to get it done, and then I can go outside and enjoy the afternoon, or you can just, kind of pick and choose your own
Yeah,
schedule.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Do you have any questions at all for me? I'm an open book. If you have, I can't give like major story points away, but I'm happy to to answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, I just had a couple. I remember you saying about your first book, Where the Cow Go, which I love the names, by the way.
Thank you.
They're so much fun to say. You sent like, if I was to be chosen to do this, obviously, you sent storyboards and stuff over of how you wanted the book to look, and would that be the same again?
I'm totally open to, I mean, seeing what you did and your vision of it. If we were to go forward with this, I'm fully trusting that you are capable of knowing the vision of what I would like to create too.
Okay.
So
yeah.
What I would probably do is lay out. So I am not an artist by any means. So what I had done before is I just did little scribbles on a page, and I said, page 1, here's the dialogue, sort of like I gave for this idea, like here's the line, and this is kind of how I want it to look. And I would just scribble like a cow, a sheep, a horse, the moon, the sun, whatever it might be. So I would probably do that as well, just so that it gives you somewhere to start. But I'm completely open to your own adaptation of it. So if you're like, oh, okay, but can we add in this and this and this? And like I said, they're very vague sketches. So I'm not like, you have to have this here and some grass here. And what I saw is so beautiful that I have no doubt that you would be able to bring those words off the page, because you did exactly that for the that one page. And we would use that page that you did as that page. So you wouldn't have to redo that one.
Okay, yeah.
So we could just use that and then go forward with the other pages.
Yeah, okay.
I'm here, and I'm very grateful to you for submitting such beautiful work. So I just thought, if there's anything that you want to know about the show, or like, I know I'm putting you right on the spot, but
No, I know. I'm just still blown away, to be honest, that my work was even picked. Because I remember just seeing it. I was going through my Instagram and I was like, oh, okay. And I just gone on holiday. I don't go back to uni until September. So I was like, oh, this would be brilliant. Like, even if I don't get picked, it's just something to keep me busy and to keep just me being creative and keep my art going. So yeah, when I woke up the next morning and I was like, who have I got an email from? And then when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I just wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I there was lots of entries. It was hard to pick. We narrowed it down. My publicist helped me narrow it down to 12. And so she kind of went through, and because there was a few that we were like, okay, these are, people are trying, but we're probably going to put those aside. And so we narrowed it down to 12 that were really good. Like, I have to say, I was like, oh man, this is hard. And then I narrowed it down to 6. And then I brought those 6 to work to Heartland, and I showed a whole bunch of people at Heartland. I was like, okay, just like, I'm not going to tell you anything about the artist, just pick your favorite 3. And then people went through and they picked their favorite 3. And right from the beginning, yours was one of my very top picks. So I knew that was going to be in there. And lots of people were like, oh, that one. And it's funny because people have different tastes, right? Like, a lot of people really loved William's work for the, he did the kind of an abstract-y,
his was so
glasses.
pretty.
And it was just like, a lot of people in Heartland were like, wow, that one like is really different and it really stands out. And I was like, yeah, it's really cool. They're all so different in style. And so then the biggest thing was, okay, but I have to make sure this is for a kid's book. So I have to make sure that children really like them too, right? And which one they gravitate towards. So it's hard for me. It is. Like,
I don't envy you at all.
I was like, okay, so I finally narrowed it down to 3, and now in the next couple days I'll make my final decision. But regardless of who I pick, I just want you to know you are incredibly talented.
Thank you.
You have a very bright future ahead of you. So whether it be starting illustrations for Where'd Turkey Go, or whatever it might be, yes, you're brilliantly talented. So I just want you to know that.
Yeah, because I've been saying to my family and stuff, I was like, winning obviously would be absolutely incredible, but I feel like I've already won. Like, to see people commenting and sharing their reactions to it, I was like, oh my God, so many people just seeing something that I've made. Because I'm hoping to leave uni with a qualification in illustration and children's picture books. So I was like, wow, the fact that people have even just seen it, that is enough for me.
That's very cool. Yeah. Oh, I love this. I think that, and it was funny. I when I did my first children's book, I went straight to Rebecca Shuttleworth because she was a rancher near me, and I had seen her work and we knew each other a little bit. And I said, Rebecca, would you be interested? And she was so nervous because she's like, well, I've never done illustrations before. She's like, I've only done paintings and sketches and things like that. And I said, it's okay. I was like, we'll work together, and just little things like, which you already have that mind for, but the things like kids love color and kids love emotions in inanimate objects. So like a smiling cloud or a frowning sunshine or whatever it might be. Kids love that kind of stuff. And so that's the one thing I had to work with her on. And I was like, okay, so this is really great. It's a beautiful painting, but now we have to make it more of an illustration. Right? Like it's not just about the artwork. It's about having little things. Like, I love the little spider in your in the background and things like that, you're reading a book to children and they say, oh, look at that, or look at the the little mouse running across the floor, or things like that. That I think make a difference for when kids are watching it. Because when you're reading a children's book, and I've been, over COVID, I've been reading a lot over Zoom to children's classrooms and things like that. I can't do appearances anymore, so I've been doing book readings and that kind of thing to classrooms, which has been so much fun. But even just having like holding up that book and saying, oh, like, look, this is happening here, or oh, it's an angry cloud, and like things like that. So I think that all those little details really make it special for kids and for the
Oh,
adults reading it.
definitely.
You know, you have to have
Hmm.
fun reading the book or you're not going to want to read it. So I think that makes a big difference too. And that's why I tried to create just a very easy read
Hmm.
in this book, and just something that flows. It's very similarly written to Where'd Cow Go? Because it's just kind of, you know, it flows and it's fun to read. It's kind of like a poem. And then the illustrations just make it so much more of an experience for the reader and the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Do you have anything else that you want to chat about? Because I think that I've asked all the questions I wanted to ask, and I guess, okay, I have one more question. How did you find out about Heartland?
It was through my mum, actually. Yeah. Oh, it must have been about 2019. We ended up getting Netflix when we moved up to the farm, and my mom loves horses. My mom's obsessed. She used to have horses herself when she was younger, and she's just loved them. So she was going through Netflix watching all the horsey programs, and then Heartland came up. So she started watching that. Like, oh my god, this program is so good. You know, you need to get into this. And at first, I was like, okay, mom, like it's another one of your horsey shows, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, when COVID hit, I sat down and actually watched it. She rewatched series 1 up until 13 at the time, obviously.
Yeah.
We watched all of them for the entire lockdown period that we were in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I found out about it, was through her.
So you are an official binge watcher. You did
Yes,
the
I can
whole.
confirm. We did like an episode per night, just going right through them.
Yeah, and I know lots of people who have done that, especially during COVID. There's been lots of new Heartland fans over the pandemic.
Yeah.
And one thing that is such a different experience is because we've been creating the show for 15 years now. So I was just a little girl basically when we started. And for
Yeah.
me, some of those episodes, like season 1 was 15 years ago. So I don't hardly remember any of it. But now
Yeah.
there's new fans and viewers of the show that, like you, have binge watched it all in the last year or two. So all that stuff is fresh in your mind, right? Like you
Yeah.
just watched season 1 not that long ago. So I'm getting questions all the time, like, oh, do you remember when you did this and you did this in the show? I'm like, to be honest, no. Like
Nope.
that's over a decade and a half ago. Like I can't
Hmm.
remember that far back. And so much has happened since then too, right? Like we've had,
Yeah.
I think there's been 220 something episodes of Heartland. That's a
Hmm.
lot. That's a lot of television. That's like 220 something hours of on-screen watching. So you accomplished that. You binge watched 200 plus
I don't know if that's
hours of
something to be
television.
proud of.
Yeah, which I think is really great. And you know, it is a show that if you're going to sit down and watch it with your family, it's one of the best ones that you can all sit around and do that with, because
Yeah.
it's just, you know, easy watching, and there's nothing that's too uncomfortable or anything like that in it. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I absolutely love being a part of this show. Is I'm never put in a situation where I feel like I'm uncomfortable with something or any of the content. It's just like, no, this is fun. I get to go to work and play
Yeah.
with horses
Oh,
and
it's
kids, and
amazing.
it's great. Such a dream job. And now we're filming season 15, and it's a heat wave here in Alberta. It's supposed to be, are you in Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Celsius.
Oh, good, because I don't want to do the conversion. It's
Yeah, no, I wouldn't blame you.
high 30s for the
Oh my
next
gosh.
week, which is unheard of here. We don't get that hot in Alberta. Nobody has air conditioning here. So
No, no, nor do we.
yeah,
We
you
never
just
get
don't
that
need
warm
it,
here.
right? You just don't need it. And so all of us are prepared for a week outside, and we're working outside all next week.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hot. So I'm just kind of preparing for that. I went out and got a couple little kiddie pools that I can bring out set and fill with water, so that in between takes we can just put our feet in them, even, you know,
Oh
just
my
to
god,
get
that
some
sounds
relief.
great.
Yeah. So it should be a good week ahead. Just it's gonna be a hot one, lots of sunscreen and shade. But yeah, been really nice. We're in a new place now. You can kind of get a glimpse of
Yeah, I
my
saw your
home.
post about saying you'd moved, so
Yeah, so we moved into a little log cabin. This is the entirety of it. It's just one room, and I absolutely love it. Sean and I don't spend a lot of time in the house anyway,
yeah,
and we're always outside. So it's just very quaint and cozy, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So today I'm going to actually in about 20 minutes, my mom is coming out here, and we're going to go for a ride. So we're going to stick in the
oh my God, that
trees
sounds
though,
great.
because it's
I am very
pretty hot.
jealous.
Yeah. So that'll be nice because I brought her horse over here, Hawk. He's been living with her for a while, but she didn't have anywhere to ride. Like
Yeah,
she had to trailer, and my mom's not super comfortable with trailering all the time. So I was like, you know what? I'll bring him here and you can come out and ride him anytime, obviously. And so today we're just going to go for a quick little ride and hopefully it doesn't get too hot. So that's what I'm off
that's
to
great.
now. Yeah. Well, it was lovely to meet you,
It was
and
lovely to meet you too.
I hope that we chat some more. And I will do a video for Abby. It was Abby, right?
Yes,
Abby
i.e.
IE. Okay,
Yes.
I will. Not that it really matters in a video, but just
No.
in case.
Oh no, she'll be over the moon by that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I have a tough
Thank
decision to
you.
make. And regardless of my decision, you are phenomenal. And I wish you all the luck in your career and everything else that you decide to do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Take care. Enjoy the day. And
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.